he's loose again. Edwards off the running. Like the back down to Edwards. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won. Right now, and they take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Vernon Williams. Still sitting free. Touchdown.
Hey, everybody, welcome into another edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast. And we are rolling along with these season previews. And, ACC is coming to the close here. We worked from the bottom to the top. And Syracuse, I know you fans got to be happy to be at this point. I mean, looking at 2024, just a great year. And, it's just me tonight running through these things. Like I said, for those of you new here, I'm Brendan. Appreciate your time and listening. When we do these previews, kind of like to go back before we move forward. And, there we go. 2024. Sorry, I've had a couple of extra dirty martinis tonight. So if that affects me, I do apologize, but I appreciate your time. Let's look at the 2024 real quick, and just a big old meaty 10-win season. We love to see that, especially from hanging around in the middle of the last couple of years. And, just a great start. I know, you play Ohio. That's a good team in the MAC. Said the same thing this year. So MAC win. And then you go play Georgia Tech and you beat them. That turned out to be a really solid squad. People had questions about them early on. Still, good team. And then you take a break. You lose that Stanford loss. Really nasty. Even though it was a very one-score game, still just that one sucked. Look how close you were to getting 11, 12 wins. When you talk about, okay, the Pitt one, you're not winning that one regardless, 41-13. But you look down at Boston College, 37-31, tight game as well. And then you go out and you win a bowl game against Washington State. You knock off Miami, who was trying to get in the playoff at that time, which is hilarious to me. I love that. And I'm covering Miami next, so they're probably not going to like me too much. Either way, 2024, great season for Syracuse, coming out of the mid area and really asserting themselves. Fran Brown is killing it right now on the recruiting trail. Just stole a 5-star wide receiver from U of M, Michigan. That's my team. So a little salty at you guys tonight, but I respect game respects game, right? So let's go. Let's move on. And we're talking about this 2025 season, what we're expecting. This is a 2025 season preview. Look back a little bit to look forward. Fran Brown's killing it. Recruiting game is going on hard. Was last year. It is this year as well. Returning production, though, and we're going to get into the team and just kind of what I'm seeing. Returning production is only at 46%. You lost a lot of talent, a lot of good, production, and some of the transfer portal, 2 to graduations. Some guys are in the league now. So when you're looking at, the 20, I should have removed that earlier, but like I said, martinis. Anyway, also I'm solo, so I don't have anybody to, bounce off and tell me that I'm screwing up. And usually Trevor does that, so he's much better. All right, anyway, Fran Brown's killing it. 2025 is coming up. What's changed? Coaching staff. From what I've been looking at, what I've been reading, largely the same. Couple of changes, across, position groups and maybe like analysts and stuff like that. But the main core of the head coach, offensive coordinator, and the defensive coordinator have remained the same. They're in their second year, and that's really all I care about right now. That's really all I'm looking at. I'm not getting too micro into it. More of a wide picture preview. Some guys do really good job getting really in depth. It's just not my style. I don't have the fucking time for it, to be honest with you. But I love college football. This is what we're doing. And Syracuse, I like what this stuff has to offer, not only on the trail, but what they showed in 2024. So you take what you had, the continuity from last year, and you can build off it. However, going into this season, it's not looking great, in my opinion, and we're going to reach into that. Again, 46% returning production. That's all from Bill Conley. That's after the spring portal as well. SME Plus has you around the 56th best team in the country. That's a 4-year range, again, from Bill Conley. I like his work a lot. So that's something, to keep an eye on. Obviously, that'll change. It'll flux, up and down depending on weeks and as we get more data in from the 2025 season. But as of right now, kind of that middling, expectation of this team. And Vegas honestly has you right in that same area, over under 5.5. So not much trust in the Syracuse team. But when you look at 2024, they had an offense, 7th ranked offense, but the defense was 78th ranked. Still got them to 10 wins, but you're kind of looking, okay, what can they, improve upon on each side, or where are they going to drop off, depending. So we're going to move in talking about the transfer portal. When you look at the transfer portal, this class, 45th in the nation. We mentioned that Fran Brown's doing really good, not only on the portal or in the recruiting side, but also in the portal. He's going out and getting guys that he thinks fit his schemes and fit his culture well. And it's a nice class. It's not crazy huge like some of the others that we've previewed, but it's solid. And you really didn't lose a ton when it comes to numbers. It's not like you lost 40 and you only brought in 10, like, hoping to God it works. It's a solid ratio when you look at it. A couple of guys that I have written down right now as a key in. Again, 16 out, 20 or 16 in, 24 out. Angeli coming in big for the quarterback race. Rooks, Bertrand, and really the entire offensive line. It's so important this year, and not just for this year, but also to build into next season. Talking about 27 or 26, excuse me. Key out. You guys lost a lot of important pieces, in my opinion. And the latest one, it really just, what was it, 2 days ago? And we're talking about King Joseph Edwards. Really just an interesting one. I hope this dude gets his stuff figured out. To me, it's just a strange, like, why? What's the point of even going to school if you're going to transfer like that that quickly? But whatever, not my place to figure it out, I guess. But when you look at the other ones, Rod Watson, that's a tough loss. Enrique Cruz, Pena, that was or Pena, I'm sorry. He left, and that was kind of another, gut punch, really. Just like, why? Like, where did this come from? And John Ray Reed, a couple of guys that I wrote down as the biggest of the losses from the portal side. And, I can kind of get why, like Trebor, why he leaves to Penn State. All right. You're a wide receiver, and really neither of these quarterbacks exude confidence, in my opinion, when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. Let's just move into it. If we're talking about it. Who's going to win this quarterback race? We don't know. It's going to go down into into fall camp, which is coming up very fast. Ricky Collins and Jelly. Ricky Collins, he's got a couple of games in, but not a whole ton of experience. He's talented. And Jelly, he's been around the block for a long time. He's got some talent. He's stepped in when he needed to on the big stage last year, but still not in the starting capacity, not a full season worth of data to really show a wide receiver like, hey, I'm your guy. You can trust me to get you the ball, and maybe again get that 10 win, maybe 11 win, and play for a playoff again. So I can get it. I know you guys may not like to hear it, but I can get it. Why a top end receiver would want to push on to a playoff caliber team, because this year again, I need to see it before I can believe. One, because of a lot of losses, but two, the schedule, and we'll talk about that later. Let me know if I'm off base or if you guys think, hey, that we've got a lot more going for us than, what you clowns are saying. I'm receptive to all comments. Again, we look at the quarterback race. Who's going to win? We won't. Ricky Collins was, kind of, the guy in spring until Angeli came along late. Right. He didn't get to, I don't think he practiced at all. It was a late portal addition. But that's at least somebody to push each other and to build that depth, and iron sharpens iron, so we'll see what happens there. One of the big things that really gets me on this season, the top producers are all gone. Wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, all gone. And again, that leans in that returning production even after the portal. So when you look at who's your returning wide receivers, who are these quarterbacks going to throw to? We got Jonte Cook coming in the portal. Okay, that can be somebody. Tyshawn Russell. Okay. And then you got guys like Gill played last year, and then Simmons as well. So you've got a couple of guys that have been around, but it's just they need to step in and and mesh well with these quarterbacks and get that time together. The halfbacks are all backup guys that played last year. I think the most they ran was about 150 yards on last season. Uh, and again, they're just going to have to step into that role. They got a lot to prove. So again, it doesn't lead to that confidence in at least this year. And then the offensive line, transfer portal prayer, tossing that up. But I like the portal class for the offensive line. That shows that, hey, Fran Brown, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's got to go get. And offensive line is where it all starts. The rest you can build. You can maybe manage this season, but you got to build a depth and a core for next year. I'm sorry. I know I'm talking already about 26. I'm just not confident in 25. I apologize, but hey, this is season preview. This is what I'm seeing. Either way, offensive line looks good. Austin Collins coming over from Louisville. Zach Rice coming up from UNC. Ferguson, Florida State. I mean, you guys are going out and getting guys. Pringle coming over from South Carolina. That's a nice pickup right there. I like that one. Even on the defensive line, Rooks coming in from BC. That's a big body guy that you can plug in the middle to help out. More, I mentioned him. Beatrand coming up from Alabama. Big body, 6'6", almost 330. Those are bodies that you can build off of this year, but also next season. And then you're really just hoping these guys can mesh in fall camp and at least give whatever quarterback wins out a chance to at least, just manage the game and try to use the weapons that they brought in from the portal and also just whatever's organic to the team. I'm not saying it can't be a good season. It can. And there's some leeway in the ACC. It's gonna be tough. We'll talk about that in a minute. Defense. Let's move on. When you look at the defense, there's a lot that's been lost, but there's veterans. There are at least veterans there that have been around. They've played. They've gotten plenty of reps. Grant, Chestnut, McDonald. Those are three guys that stand out. Towards in the back seven. And really the depth pieces from 2024, you need those guys to step up. The ones that were in the rotation last year, how well did they step in and how well did they get after it? Because again, 78th on defense last year with a top offense. So that means, yes, you guys scored quick at times, but you also were able to control the football. You had a good running game. McCord was nice. So a lot of that, issue lies on the defensive side of the ball. What holes did you have, as first-year head coach? Not expecting a top 10 offense, top 10 defense. But how can this defense improve? Guys from the rotation have got to step in. And then your guys that you brought up, from the portal. Chris Thomas coming over from Marshall. We mentioned him. Fran Brown Jr., he's coming in at linebacker. He's, when you look at 24/7's rankings and recruiting, he's gone up from his high school rating. So that's always impressive. That's something that you need to look into. Bryant coming up from South Dakota. You got multiple players coming across the board. Chris Peel from Georgia. These are guys that you need to try and step in to fill the ranks. I'm looking at guys like David Reese coming up from Cal. That's an important one. Rashad Perry, he was already there, obviously. Deion Wilson, vets up front that you need to really step up in the run game. It's just where can you get the pressure at? And I think the linebacking core is going to be fine. I think safety is really a really nice position for this defense. You guys have talented players there. It's a cornerback that I question a little bit with depth. But again, you brought in Chris Peel, one guy. Maybe that's enough to shore that up, and Fran Brown feels confident in it. Maybe to push it into the defense in the 50s range, and you're expecting the offense to drop back. I mean, to me, we got to be honest with ourselves, right? There's no way it's going to be number 7 in the country next year. If it is, I've already bet that I'd eat a lemon for something else. I don't remember what the hell I bet it was, but I guess I'll bet that I'll eat another one. If it's a top 10 offense next year, I'll eat another lemon. I know that's probably not, a sexy bet, but I mean, tell me what I should eat if you guys have a top 10 offense. So again, cornerback worries me a tad bit, with the depth there and the young guys stepping up, but you had good recruiting classes, young guys stepping in. So, I mean, there's people there, and it can happen. we've covered a lot of the ACC so far, and some of these teams I think are going to be improved from last year, but then others are going to be right in that same area. So it's going to be an interesting season for this conference. Now let's look at the schedule real quick, because everything that I've kind of mentioned is predicated on, okay, well, the schedule is tough. I don't think this year is going to be solid just because of what you guys are dealing with. Let me pull it up on my end before I pull it up on yours, because I'm halfway blind, so I can't see it on the screen. So now there you go. You should already know it. You're Syracuse fans. You know what you have. You know what you're up against. And just, I mean, look at what you're dealing with. You start off with one of these new young, can't say young, but one of these new quarterbacks stepping in as a full-time starter. You play Tennessee. I know that they had some issues in the offseason of their own, right? But they're still a talented team. UConn, talented team. We covered them in the group of 5. If you want to go check out their preview, go look on our YouTube page or on the podcast sites. We'd appreciate, of course, your subscription and checking it out. Colgate, that's a dub. Too easy. UConn should be a win. It should be. But you need to be ready. You better be prepared, because they have vets. They have a lot of returning production, and I like that staff. So you cannot lose to UConn. And then you play Clemson. At Clemson, that immediately chalk that as a loss in my mind. Maybe if things go well, you guys can keep it close. You can maybe get them if they're not expecting you to win. But it's that back to back right there. The last 3 games of that first stretch. Clemson, Duke, which I just covered. I like them a lot, especially getting Mensa in. They've got some stuff to work on in the run game, but if they figure that out, that's going to be a tough team to play. And then you got SMU, another one that's going to have talent all over the field. And then you get a nice bye week right there. That's an important bye week. Then you go play a Pitt team that last year was dangerous when Holstein and the crew was healthy. If they stay healthy again this year, that's a dangerous team. Georgia Tech, dangerous team, playoff type caliber team in my mind. North Carolina, I'm giving you that win. I don't trust that team right now. And then you play Miami. I don't trust Mario Cristobal, but they've got a lot of talent. And this team, again, the Syracuse team we're mentioning, 2025, has lost a lot. They're needing a lot of people to step up. It's doable. It's possible. I just need to see it. And then you go play Notre Dame and Boston College. Guys, this is a tough schedule. Let's not sugarcoat it, man. This is not easy. Pitt should be right in that same area of last year. They can knock people off. You can take them out, though. Georgia Tech, I think they're going to be really hard to beat. I don't know. You tell me. What do you guys think? What are you expecting? The over-under is at 5.5. Let's say Tennessee, you take a loss. You beat UConn. You beat Colgate. Let me take this down. You beat UConn. You beat Colgate. You take down Pitt. You beat North Carolina. Beat Boston College. That's going to be a tight one. Maybe you take an upset against Duke or SMU. There's your 6 right there. So to me, you're fighting for that bowl game, and that's why Vegas also has you at 5.5. So I don't know. I hate to be pessimistic because I like what they're building here. I just don't think this year is it. 26. I mean, obviously we don't have the whole breakdown right now. I was looking on FBS schedules, making sure they have all 12 games on there. They do. I mean, they're really good at what they do. 2026, initial thoughts is it looks more manageable, but it's you still draw Clemson. And Notre Dame still too. So I don't know. I think 26 will be a better year for trying to get back in that 10-win game season. 2025 is going to be tough. You've got to have ball luck. You've got to have football gods on your side. You guys tell me what you think. Let me know. Yeah, not trying to hate on you. I like this program. I like the coaching staff and what they're doing on the recruiting side. Very impressive. And you have to recruit to build a core to be able to be a contender. And that's what Fran Brown's doing. So trust the process. Even if things go sideways this year, I have belief in this head coach and what this team can do in the coming seasons. we talked about it on Twitter today with a couple of my other fellow, football podcasts. We think Fran Brown has every potential to get this team to the playoff. Not this year, but soon. Trust in it. We'll see what happens. Guys, thank you for your time. Let me know what you think on YouTube. Hope you subscribe and follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. We any comments, any of that, we're always on top of it, and we like to talk ball with you guys. So appreciate your time. Have a good night. We'll see you around.